another critical phase concludes. To discuss that, we have with us Praful Ketkar, senior journalist. Welcome, Mr. Ketkar, to News Night. You've had a long day and you've been watching closely the voting trends. You also heard the press conference of the Election Commission, in which it said that the voter turnout in the third phase has been around 66%. If you compare this with 2014, then it was around 67%. But the votes would still be counted in a way. The number of people who've come out to vote would still be counted, that is. So overall voting trends, how do you see? We also now know that in the first and the second phase, women voters outnumbered men voters.
This is a very significant number. Another number, that actually struck me was about the way Election Commission has calculated about the first time voters actually giving the numbers of voters who are actually between 18 to 19 years of age, and they are more than 1 crore. So this is a very significant number. If you take, you are right that the overall percentage will go up when the final numbers are released. But what is important, even if they are almost the same as 2014, if we take the increase in the number of voters who enrolled themselves in the list, overall voters who came out and exercised their franchise is much higher than 2014.
The absolute number will go up with the same percentage.
That is, yes. So that clearly shows the faith of common people in democracy. Again, the same trend shows that as far as the rural, semi-urban voters are coming up in large numbers. Urban areas like some cities like Pune we have seen, and even some urban pockets of Gujarat we have seen that the comparatively number polling percentage is comparatively less. But if you go entire northeast, as it's remarkable the way poll arrangements are made and the way it is ensured. Even the only remaining state in Tripura, where there were some law and order problems in the second phase, so it was shifted to the third one. So this clearly shows the faith of common people in democracy. And despite all talks about EVMs and EVM malfunctioning and all those things, it looks like people trust this entire machinery, and then they believe that they are going to vote for the government for the coming days.
Now, if we look at the entire third phase, then we see that more than 50% of the parliamentary constituencies have now voted in the first 3 phases. The third phase was the largest, wherein voting took place. 417 Lok Sabha seats. BJP had the maximum to defend at 62, followed by Congress that had 16, followed by CPM that had 7, and there were other regional parties after that. How important was this phase according to you?
This was a really important phase, especially states like Gujarat and Kerala going, all Lok Sabha constituencies going for poll in one go. Karnataka completed its entire 28 seats. Chhattisgarh is through. So almost all the important states in south and even major parts of west, besides Rajasthan and some seats in Maharashtra, they are almost through. So 55% of electorates have already given their mandate, and it is already blocked in the EVMs. What will be this election known for? The way today also some opposition parties came together in Maharashtra. They had a press conference. There were some complaints in Kerala as well. But Election Commission gave numbers, and Election Commission said 0.54 are the control units were replaced. 0.57 actual EVM machines were replaced. So these numbers clearly show the way there may be some genuine, but malfunctioning is not actually manipulation. So that message is clearly conveyed again in today's press conference.
And the Election Commission said that the malfunctioning EVMs were replaced, the malfunctioning VVPAT machines, in whatever parts they were malfunctioning, were totally replaced. So those arrangements were made immediately by the Election Commission.
Yes, and in presence of the polling agents, and in many places even candidates verified that. So I think we should stop and we should celebrate this festival of democracy. The way this is one for one election, in a way this is for the one government, but still the way we find different colors, that again shows the way we celebrate our diversity.
Okay, now let's focus on state after state. Let's begin with Gujarat, where voting took place for all the 26 Lok Sabha seats. Would you say a prestige battle for BJP on the one hand, and for the Congress an opportunity to build on the gains that it had made in the last assembly polls there?
Yes, Gujarat is very significant for two reasons. One is Prime Minister Modi and BJP President Amit Shah both come from Gujarat. It has been BJP's passion. In 2014, BJP had bagged all the 26 seats, and in Vidhan Sabha elections, assembly elections, it found it tough going against Congress. So since 1995, Congress is almost on the periphery in Gujarat elections. That they found some space during assembly election. In fact, just before Lok Sabha elections, in fact, they lost their 6-7 MLAs who switched over to BJP. So that will be some kind of matter of concern for Congress. But there are many places where Congress can hope to have gain some ground, and Gujarat is one of them. And of course, challenging Prime Minister Modi on his home turf, Congress would like to take that forward. But how Gujaratis see, again, Prime Minister Modi becoming Prime Minister, that would be really interesting to see.
And Amit Shah, in his outreach to voters, had said that you should all vote for BJP in order to ensure that we sweep the state once again. And PM Modi went to the extent of appealing for support in such a manner that most of the opposition leaders lose their deposits. So that's the kind of importance that BJP places on Gujarat. Having said that,
Amit Shah fighting from Gandhinagar was precisely that message. Even though Prime Minister Modi is not contesting from Gujarat this time, last time he contested from Vadodara as well with Varanasi, but he is sending his most important lieutenant to Gandhinagar. It clearly shows that the kind of importance BJP shows for Gujarat.
And how do you see the strategy of the two parties? And one thing, not going for the Congress this time with 3 young caste warriors not there, which was a factor that the Congress had got in its favor in the 2017 assembly polls, and the two strategies of the BJP and the Congress, of the BJP dropping 10 sitting MPs this time around, not giving them tickets, and the Congress focusing particularly on Saurashtra, where it had won 28 out of the 49 assembly segments in the region in the last assembly polls.
See, when it comes to the assembly elections, the issues are completely different. There, the caste equations, the regional disparities, the agrarian issues, they certainly play a role. And with these 3 leaders who that time were not directly associated with the Congress, but still indirectly batting for Congress, they certainly gave some trouble. Whenever there is a direct fight and when there is a direct context and contest and the ideology of the party, they were in a way untested kind of players in politics. Like Arvind Kejriwal was there in 2014. So there BJP had some troubles, but now I think with most of the issues addressed with Kisan Samman Yojana or 10% reservation, I think BJP and most importantly the brand Modi that is going to work across Gujarat, this being a national election, that will play somewhere a role. So I think it will not be as tough as assembly election for the BJP.
Absolutely. And from Anand, the Gujarat Pradesh Congress Committee President Bharat Bhai Madhav Singh Solanki was in the fray. So that would be a prestige contest from the perspective of the Congress. But now let's shift focus to Kerala, where voting took place on all the 20 Lok Sabha seats. Here, would the BJP be wanting to convert the increase in vote share that it has managed over the years to around 15% in the last assembly polls into seats? Would the left be hoping to retain its last bastion and also retain its national party status? And would the Congress be hoping to make maximum gains from here, because the UDF had won 12 out of 20 seats last time around from Kerala?
In fact, that was the only state where Congress could actually see on its own two-digit mark. I see Wayanad as another option for Mr. Rahul Gandhi, simply because of this strategy, where they were clearly hoping that if they can consolidate their ground, it is Kerala. But ideologically, the critical question is whether what will be the relevance of the mainstream communist parties who have been contesting elections. There are many variants of communism and proponents of communist ideology in India, but there are few who believe at this claim in that they believe in democracy, and they have been participating in democratic electoral politics. So what will be their relevance, because they have lost considerable ground in Bengal. They have lost again very significant ground in Tripura, and this is the last bastion. Okay. And the ideological tussle that BJP has been fighting, BJP has been always strong on the ground. That seat convertibility factor was never there. Now BJP strategically has identified 4 or 5 seats, and BJP is concentrating and certain mass agitations on Sabrimala issue and other people centric issues have certainly given BJP some space to find its own foothold.
Okay. In UP, would you say that since voting was held in the Yadav belt and in Rohilkhand, marking perhaps the last phase insofar as Western UP is concerned in this phase, was it mostly a fight for family pride of the Yadav clan?
This is a battle for family pride. This will also be, at least today's phase was a testing ground for how far the fracture and the cracks within the family will impact the electoral fortunes, because we shouldn't forget that Shivpal Yadav was also fighting from Firozabad
from Pragatishil
Samajwadi Party, and in some other constituencies also he fielded his candidates. More importantly, I think what will be the behavior of BSP voters in these constituencies. So the entire equation of alliance also will be tested in this particular phase. If they really want to have that kind of equation working on the ground, that will be tested here in Mainpuri and surrounding belt.
Okay. In Karnataka, would you say that mostly there was a two-way fight between the BJP and the Congress candidates, because JDS had fielded candidates only on 2 out of the 14 seats that went to polls here? Is it also a test on how much of the Lingayat vote bank the BJP is able to retain in this election?
Definitely, north of Karnataka was always a direct fight between the BJP and the Congress. South of Karnataka was always triangular. But what is significant here is how far JDS voters, whatever 2%, 3%, 5% they have, they are going to be converted for the Congress candidates. JDS in any case does not have much of a hold in this region, any of the constituencies. And therefore, in this kind of direct fight, how far BJP consolidates, it's because this has been BJP's stronghold, and BJP tactically always able to convert voting percentage into seats and maximum numbers in this region.
A quick last word on Maharashtra, where voting was held on 14 Lok Sabha seats. Would a lot of focus be of the NCP to ensure that the vote base that had lost in 2014 Lok Sabha polls in the wake of the Modi wave, when most of the Congress candidates who had contested from there in alliance with NCP had lost, NCP is able to get that vote base back?
This is a very the seats that polled today was extreme northern part of Maharashtra and some sections of western part of Maharashtra. Western part of Maharashtra always had been, I wouldn't say just NCP, it was always Sharad Pawar's stronghold. Whether he is in Congress or outside Congress, he ensured that certain number of seats either in assembly or Lok Sabha actually fetch from this particular region. Last time he first time Sharad Pawar faced some difficulty. This
he did not contest from Madha, for instance.
Yeah, he is not contesting from Madha, and in many traditional strongholds they are NCP is facing tough challenge, but NCP has already also ensured some tactical alliances on the ground.
Swabhimani
Shetkari Sangatna, there are many small parties that they have allied with. How far they help NCP in regaining that ground, that will be an interesting factor.
I'm afraid that's all the time that we have for this analysis. Thank you so much, Praful Ketkar. You've had a long day. So thank you indeed for your time on DD News.
Thank you.